Have you ever thought about what is it that truly motivates you deeply in your heart? Especially today, in an IT environment where companies are willing to do pretty much anything to get someone hired. Yeah, pay a lot of money, give you all the benefits, all different sort of things. Our next speech is going to help you to build your career in a way where you stay truly to what motivates you, to understand it, and to make the right decisions. Our next speaker is an active leader of Management 3.0 group, which is about what motivates you. And I think it's an ideal candidate to tell you how to develop your career in an agile environment. Piotr Hełka.
It's in the middle of hot and sunny July. I'm in the car. I listen to my favorite radio station. It's very early in the morning. So the weather is really chilly. It's cold outside. I can breathe with fresh air and I really like it. It's Friday. I go to work. And there are no traffic jams because it's holidays, half of the population is gone, there are no students in town. This will be a very good day. Everything is perfect except one thing. I feel totally frustrated. And I don't know what, I don't want to go there. I'm really thinking already about quitting my job just to terminate that sick situation. There is one problem. I don't know what has changed. I know that something has changed, but I don't know what. I don't understand. Raise your hand if you have ever been demotivated at work. I suppose I have something for you. Before I will reveal some more of my story, let's have a short chat about agile development, because it's very appealing for both developers and testers, scrum masters, managers who have now less hassle with the teams, right? Yeah, this is only one side of it. We like collaboration, we like agile principles, we like transparency is not what we like. Managers like transparency from our side, and it seems to be a perfect thing. And I have a comparison in working in waterfall. Agile is really nice thing to do, believe me. But even the agile thing has some dark sides. And not because it's bad in itself, or there is some error or misconception about it, but it's all about us. We are the problem. For example, this is not meant to be a complete list, what I will show you. I will show you 4 different problems that may arise because of your intrinsic motivation, because of what is in you, not in the environment, not in the context. First one, do you remember that movie? Raise your hand if you know this movie. Yeah, do you remember that guy in radio? The Groundhog Day! This guy wasn't very happy with this Groundhog Day. It was like happening over and over again, the same story. He tried to kill himself a couple of times successfully, but still he had to live the same day. And it seems to be like, yeah, we have the same retrospective, we will have the same points. This is something bad. Yeah, we say the points shouldn't repeat in Agile. But maybe you're developing according to the right priority and business goals. You're still developing and polishing, giving a fine polish to the same features over and over again to make the company more and more profitable. This is good, right? But you may feel a little bored because you're driven by curiosity. Because You're curious of another solution, another feature, not the same old stuff and crap what you already know for the nth time. This is not the problem of the business. This is a problem that is in you, that is in me. By the way, there is a very good solution to this, and this is what Rob already mentioned. What has done this guy? He started when he knew that, okay, I cannot kill myself, it's impossible. Okay, let's look around. Oh, there are nice people. Do you need any help? Hey, I can help you. He started to help other people. He started to learn new skills like playing the piano, dancing, making sculptures from ice, and so on and so forth. He started to make a change. And guess what? The problem was gone. He was curious now with not the boundaries that he had given to him by himself, but to the wider scope. Yeah, we have goals. We have a sprint goal. Every sprint needs a goal, right? But sometimes the goal is a little too short, and I feel demotivated. Yeah, let's do something real now, not the fine polishing of the feature and X, Y, Z. What you need is a challenge. And what is interesting, there are a number of scientists, psychologists, people who try to find out what motivates you. One of them is Dan Pink. Have you read Dan Pink's Drive book? Do you know this book? Please raise your hand. Okay, a couple of people. Not a problem. I will not repeat his book because he mentioned only 3 aspects. This is one of them. We will speak also about other one. We want to make a progression in our career. We tend to exchange feedback more regularly in the Agile organizations. Who of you, please raise your hand, gets feedback at least once a year? And at least every half a year? And at least every month? Okay, not so many people. Every week? Okay, a good number of people. This is nice. So you get a feedback. But sometimes, for some people, and I was having such a conversation with a couple of guys, and Monica said to me, you know, it's nice to have some career plan or path in the Agile organization because we are so spontaneous, we react to change, but I would like to see some, maybe not a schedule, but some checklist, something that ensures me that I'm still developing. My favorite. This is my own expectations that can stop me from being successful. Because, for example, I believe that it's extremely important to stay employable. I'm father of 3 children. And what does it mean for me? I don't know. I translate it to some different tasks. Like, I need to use the newest framework because if I will use it, I will stay employable because this is something that will be used in 10 years. I need to learn React as a new framework used by Facebook and other codes. Or maybe, like my colleague Jack from a team, he's a very experienced developer. He's helping us a lot. And by the way, he's defining many stories as a product owner, as a supporter of a product owner. And when I told him to this thing, my observation, he was like, oh, product owner, no, I want to write code. He was struck, no, I don't want to do this stuff, no. But he's really good at this. And after a couple of weeks, I have asked him again, hey, what's the reason you have so much fear about making that responsibilities of a product owner as well? You know, I want to have some achievement at the end of every day. It keeps me satisfied. So, in the end, it seems that we struggle to find what is really important for us and what motivates us. This is not easy. It has taken 4 days in my story to understand what was the reason. What was the reason? I will reveal it to you soon. So, to sum it up, Agile is demanding, of course, but it's also offering in return a lot. What is it? First of all, it gives you a nice constitution. This is really important. You get values and principles of Agile mindset. You can use it as a kind of constitution to show it to your manager. Hey, hey, but we want to be an Agile organization. We don't do like this anymore. But what I like, that the flexibility is not only expected, it's also given. So we have it. We can use it. We can seek for new opportunities to gather new skills. Remember what Rob was saying? Skills, skills, skills. This is important. We need more skills than only one. Another thing is we can improve the way how we work. We can influence. Like Jack, by writing the stories, he sees some gap in the specification that we create. He sees a gap and he tries to fulfill it. Okay, question, so you don't fall asleep. What was the date on the first slide in my story? What was the date?
15th of July.
Okay, great. Great, nice. So maybe you are asking now, okay, so give us that tool. Give us that tool. We want to have this tool. We want to figure out what's sitting inside of us, what emotions are driving us, what is engaging us. Let's have a look. Like I said, Daniel Pink have identified 3 of them. Some other scientists have identified even more of them. We, as a Management 3.0 community, have merged all of these models, very agnostic way, very scientific way, to our to contribute to our work environment. So there are some motivators that are not on the list, like having a family, having sex, vengeance, and other stuff like this. Let's say it's not relevant for the work environment. No regrets, please. No vengeance. So let's go through this. We have a curiosity. We want to discover new things. We want to go to the moon. What's on the moon? How does it look like? How do you feel like? We want to discover new things. We want to learn new things. We want to improve. Honor. This is a very hard. It has taken me really good 3 days to understand what is it about. So I will give you maybe some better description. It's all about respect. That I'm respected for who I am, what I do. It's like the Polish word for this one is godność. Not easy one. Another one, acceptance, approval. I feel approved of who I am, what I do. I feel nice. No one saying, hey Piotr, go away of this room, I don't want to speak with you. Maybe on a Wall Street it doesn't motivate people so much because they wouldn't be able to survive in that environment because it's a little more scary. But for some people it may be really important. Another thing, mastery. Again, I was speaking with some person and I remember that it was important for some developers that they not only master their craft, they don't only improve and have some challenges to be better, but they also want to have some kind of guru, some kind of master who can teach them, who can show some tricks to them. There are also different things that motivate us, like influence. Some people like to have possibility to influence the nearest area that they are in, because this is how they make this space a little more their space. On the other side, we have a freedom, and we can understand this freedom in both ways. As the freedom to do something, I have some kind of freedom of area where can I influence, I'm free to do it, as a freedom to work independently. For the other people, it will be maybe not so important to have a freedom, but to have a very good social contact with colleagues. So that I know that if I will ask for help, I will get it. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel comfortable. I can focus then on my real work. I can make my duties very well. Order, stability. This sounds maybe little interesting in an agile environment, but still we need some kind of rules. And for some people, that rules will be really important, where for other people, it will be totally demotivating. So we have something that is like more like an emotion. It's a motivator or demotivator. It depends on the person, how it works. Goal, idealism, purpose. I want to have a purpose in my life. I want to make not only my life better, but also the surrounding better. I want to have a bigger goal that I want to achieve. Not only as a person, but also as an organization. I care. And the last but not least, status. You don't have to think about it like a hierarchy, like a position in a hierarchy. It can be something like I'm recognized as an expert in some kind of technology inside of my team. And I know that if someone will have a problem, they will come to me and ask about it. For some people, this may be really important because this makes them feel needed, feel important, and they want to contribute it. So here they are, 10 intrinsic motivators. This is not a complete list. You may say, hey, I interpret this a little differently, I have maybe other one. This is fine, this is fine. It doesn't need to be a complete list. It's just some kind of general guidance that we use. So please always align it to your context. And if you ever take a look at this with other people, always ask, what does some person mean when he says, I'm motivated by curiosity or relatedness. Okay, now a short exercise. Please recall in your memory last time where you were upset, demotivated. Anything, personal, work-related, doesn't matter. Do we have it? Yes? Okay. What motivator was missing? Take a look at this. What was missing? Okay, raise your hand if you have learned something new about your past experience. Cool, thanks. Let's move. I found that in my story, influence was missing. From day 1 to day 2, I have lost my influence because something has changed. And this was making me totally sad. But when I realized this, I could speak about it and find a way to have some area of influence and keep running. I stayed at that company, I haven't quit. Another exercise. Now please select 3. 3 is enough, you don't have to do more. 3 most important for you motivators. Don't think too much, just select 3. Okay, ready, progressing, 10 seconds left. Okay, so, my 3 most important, my choice now is this. It can change in some time, in a month, in a year. It doesn't have to be stable. Now, when you have this 3 motivators selected, please think of some decision or a change that is ahead of you. Anything, personal or work-related, doesn't matter. Think about it. What do you need to decide? Left, right. And now take a look at the motivators you have selected. And imagine that in this change or after this change, you should put a happy face or a sad face on this motivator. What would it be? Imagine this. Put the sticker in your mind. Ready? I'm ready. In my case, there are 2 sad faces, and only one is smiling. So this should probably mean that I will not do it. And surprisingly, I have learned some new insights. I know that probably this decision would result in a burnout later, or I would regret that I have done this. Okay, let's try it on some other example. So we have a Susan. Susan is a full-stack developer, and she's asked for the next 6 months to take care of SQLs, only SQLs. What she needs to do is to republish SQLs. She's really good at the back-end side and on the front-end side. She's curious in many new things, and she knows dozens of the newest JavaScript frameworks. Yeah, the system is a legacy system, but she hopes, for promotion for a software architect anytime soon. And she's driven by curiosity, mastery, and order. Should she accept this offer? What do you think? What stickers would she put on her motivators? We will vote. Okay, please raise your hand if you think she should accept this assignment. Okay. Please raise your hand if you think she shouldn't accept it. Okay, good. Why we are divided almost 50 to 50%? The one funny answer is because it's of course up to Susan to decide whether she will do it or not. But also depends. Yeah, this is my talk. I have chosen this example. I have written this. This is a fake example. But I wanted to show you, it depends what she will see, what she will imagine. You can influence your emotions in a way, what you think, what you plan to do. And the same situation, the same role, just like in the case of Anna, you can have 2 different options. It depends on you. You can influence your emotions. It's not always like this. Sometimes it's obvious. But in this case, hey, for 6 months, maybe she will be able to influence it even more. She likes order, so she will be able to make it a little more cleaner, a little nicer and neater way. Hey, works. Maybe perfect. This is the question, what she will focus on. Okay. Do you remember the acronym of the 10 intrinsic motivators?
Champ frogs.
Great, nice. Of course, every model is wrong. Everyone. Some are useful. I hope that this one is useful. So now you have learned this model, this tool. I will give you some reference in the materials that we will left on the last slide. How to use it in your team. But I want to tell you about how to use it in your organization. You know how to use it for yourself. Let's take a look how can you use it for your organization. 3 easy tips. Check it with your team. This is very easy. All materials are free to do this exercise in a better way, not only by selecting on a screen, which is a little uncomfortable, to discuss it. Of course, trust is needed. You will not be able to do it in a group of people that is not a team. Secondly, tell it to your manager. Manage his expectations. Because if he knows how to make you happy, he probably will. Because this is a one problem less, one green tick on a checklist. We all like it. So communicate your needs. And for every vacancy, this is something new, this is so crazy idea. If you have a vacancy in your team, Sonic is a name of team where I am. Try to define what is the culture of the team, what is the motivation. Of course, that new person can count on. Of course, every new person will change the team. This will be a completely new team, but you can at least try to define it, to find a good person. And sometimes you should do the otherwise. If you know that this is totally incorrect person, give it a try. Maybe it will change the team if you need this. So, for example, I would definitely tell that in the team where I am, curiosity is totally there, because we start a new topic every 2 months, new technology, new fancy toolkits, new stuff. Relatedness, of course, we have a very good social contact with each other. If we cannot visit ourselves, because we work in different locations, 2 developers here, 2 developers there, we make a virtual coffee, and one tester here, one tester there. We make a virtual coffee break on a hangout and chat. Mastery, freedom, influence, like Jack, who is creating the stories instead of a product owner. If you care about the status in form of, I don't know, a position, maybe it will be hard because we are all developers. A goal is a little blurry in our team, but it makes more room for us to influence it. So this is like characteristic of the team. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's bad. And if you wish for freedom in a meaning to work independently, it may be hard because we pay a lot. So this should help you to ask the question, does this person suits our team? And sometimes you can have the 20 seconds of bravery and totally reconfigure a team, if it's needed, of course. So now you know how to use it in your personal life, in your private life, in your professional life and your private life, and you're able to use it in your organization. Questions?
Okay, Agile usually is a process for just development of software, and when we're starting to talking about people management, there are slightly different processes in place there. So how this approach can be used there?
Well, if I understand the question correctly, I think that motivation is crucial in that, let's say, people management. Either it's a traditional people management or it happens inside of Agile organization. In Agile organization, you're just much more demanded to take care of this motivation, because this is a much more important issue. Because we are more challenged and requested to do even better work with our customers, with our colleagues from other teams, and stuff like this. So this is why I think you can still use that kind of approach when you look at your motivation. What is changing in comparison to a traditional organization is you don't do it with your manager only, in a one-on-one session. You should do it in your team. You should know each other better. There is no manager needed to help you as a team communicate better. You don't need this. Does it answer your question? Partially, more or less? Okay.
So Piotr, what would you advise to a person who works in a team where team members has contradicting motivators, or maybe not contradicting but completely different?
Good question. I think that first of all, such a workshop, when you know each other better, is really helpful, because then you set your expectations in your mind correctly. And you know, hey, okay, this guy doesn't like new features because it's scary for him. He doesn't like to switch to some new technology. Eventually, he will do, but he can be the last one who goes very slowly, for example. On the other hand, you can always change the scope of a task. I presume that you have enough room that you can get a task, get an assignment, and align it to the motivation of every person. This is the job that every manager is doing, actually, in a traditional organization. And he is selling, literally, the same position, vacancy, to different people with different pitch, which is more suitable to them. For the person who likes to have a rules, we said, hey, you know, this is a area that is good known. There are some procedures that are working. You know, you will find this very good place, nothing horrifying. To other person who likes challenges, who wants to influence, he will say something totally different, like, you know, there are some processes, but they should be improved eventually. And if you can take a look at this and over some time improve this with your team, oh, it sounds like a nice challenge. So I think that we have a room to play with this and to make almost every task a little more aligned to what motivates me, what drives me. Any other question? Yes.
I would like to challenge the approach slightly.
Sure, go ahead.
While listening to you, I was constantly thinking that it's just the only way to look at the question, because in addition to motivations, there are some real-life constraints, outside boundaries, conditions, and so on and so on. And let's say when making a decision regarding changing the project, you should consider not only your motivations, you should also consider how much it is paid, how the position will look like in your CV, and so on and so on and so on. So I'm not, I'm definitely agree with.
Thank you for the skepticism. It's totally needed, and it's really helpful. This is a very good point. I'm not saying you should look only at this. I'm saying that if you take different factors into consideration, take your motivation also as one of them. Because you may have a really nice payroll, highly paid, really cool job at some huge company that will result in your burnout because there is not enough room for your motivation. It will not be addressed in any way. You will finish this job sooner than later. So it's totally in sync. I totally agree with this. You shouldn't do it only on that. And you know, I'm a father of 3, so I always look at the money they pay me. It's important for me. Of course, we haven't spoken about that family part, for example, but this is something that a team and manager can also take into consideration. For example, a person may have some difficulties in their private lives. Yeah, let's take it into consideration. Okay, any more questions? Last one.
How do managers act in this model? Because you said at the end that if you work on some solutions, we're taking the model personally and later in the team, and do you really need this next step talk with the manager?
Rob has named it very wisely. Who is your customer? I think that my manager is my customer as well. I want to be satisfied, but by what my customer is giving me in exchange for my favors. So I think this is a good solution. We understand our needs in the both directions. I know what he needs or she, and I can say about my needs. Yes, follow up.
A bit separately, I should say, about the answer, because the customer is interested in the product. I can say that as a customer, I don't care what kind of methodology you use, what kind of ways of doing something you use. We just agreed to deliver a product.
That's true. And let me answer with the following presentation. I proudly defined a new agile career development model. And now I think that the new product in the career development model is your career. So you are the product owner and you take care of your career. It's the product of your decisions. Every decision you make is a backlog item. And when you use some kind of the business value to assign to this decision and to decide whether you do it or not, you take a look at the profitability, you take a look at the priority, you take a look at different things. Take also motivation with you and calculate the business value a little more sensible, emotional way, and own your career and let it shine. Thank you very much.